Hey y'all, we are back with another tutorial, but today we're going to be making a chunky sweater. This is the material I'll be using today. It's from Yarn Bee. It's let me see, hold up. It's the jumbo yarn in a size 7. Color green, obviously. So whatever color that you want to use, go ahead and get your yarn ready so we can get started. Okay. You'll also need scissors and measuring tape. A lighter. So make sure you got all those things so you can make you a jumbo sweater. Alright, throughout this video, I will be pausing it. Let me see, because I can't really tell what's going on. So that the video isn't too long. But, let me see if you can see. Yeah. Alright. So, you'll be making a slip knot. And how I like to make my slip knot is I just kind of like throw it over like this. And then I pull it like that. I just leave the tail on it just because I like to. And you'll pull this side till you get about 2 inches. Wait a minute, because it's actually getting tighter and not pulling. Okay, wrong side. Measure that. It's 2 inches. A little bit more, but that's fine because we want to do the foundation chain a little bit bigger, so that way when you start making your stitches that you know, it won't tighten up on you. Because like if you're starting your chain and it's tight at the bottom, your thread will start getting loose as you're making your loops, and it'll start going up like this. And you don't want that. You don't want it to go in this direction. You kind of want it to go straight up like that. All right. Let's get started. I'm having issues with trying to make sure you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, looks like we're good. All right, so I'm making a jumbo sweater, oversized cardigan for a smaller woman. So I'm going to be doing 16 chains, and we'll do 14, and then we'll do 2 on the sides so that the sides are neat. So I feel like this needs to go back this way, or I need to move over. All right, let's get started. Like I said, keep your chain a little bit loose. That's 2. That's 3, 4, and you can do however many you want. I find that when I did 22, it was too big, and then I knocked it down to 20. It was still a little bit big, but once I did 18 chains, it was perfect for my size. I weigh about like 175, 180. We're a size 8 to 10, so it fits perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll be back once I get my 16 chains. Okay, once you get your chains, your desired amount of chains you got, you want to make sure you got a good stretch on it like this. You'll flip your chain over, because you kind of want to work your yarn in the way that you will be going, that you will be on your rows. So, and you see these bumps here? This is where we'll be working our yarn into. So, we'll be starting with this. This is your first one. This is your first loop, which is your 16th chain. And we'll be going into this one. And just go in and pull it up, just like that. Just in case you haven't done this before, or you don't know about finger knitting, because that's what it is. That's how you do it. And then you'll just go in the second one, pull that up, and then you'll do this all the way across. And when I get done, I'll show you what to do next. Okay. All right, we made it down to the end of our chain. I want to show you what to do at the end of the first row. I'm sorry. So that's 14. 15. It's in here somewhere. 16. Can't get this one in there. It's being a little difficult. Okay, so you always want to make sure that you count to be sure that you have the correct amount of chains that you are working. So it's kind of hard to cover the whole entire thing, but as long as you get the gist of what is being done here, and I'll show you how to assemble the sleeves, how to make the sleeves, how to connect everything together after you work, you know, your yarn up into the desired length that you want. I will show you how to do all those things. So just follow with me and bear with me. This is my second tutorial. I'm excited. The first tutorial, you guys showed me so much love. I got 26,000 views on my first tutorial, so I'm excited about that. So just bear with me. You guys showed me that you are, so I appreciate it. All right, so we'll be working back this way. So you'll take your yarn and move it in the direction that you are going. And then just, wait a minute. What am I doing here? Okay, you'll just, wait, hold up. What is going on here? Work it behind. Okay, sorry. Make sure it's going in the direction you're going. Got a little confused there. And you'll put it in the first loop down here only. And then you'll work this all across. I'm going to show you how to work this all across. I ain't going to pause the video this time because I want y'all to see how I'm going to do on the end. So that we can have a nice clean finish when it comes to this panel. This is the back panel that we're working. We want a nice clean finish up the sides. Excuse the noise, that's my nails hitting the table. So you'll put one loop in this, which is your finish at the end. You see how it looks? That's one, that's two. And this is your foundation chain right here. But you'll skip this on the way back. And you'll be skipping the first loop from now on. So just work into the second from the end. Just like that. And just bring your loops up. Just like this. Give it a little tug if you need. But we did it loose, so it should be fine. Work it up. Trying to get it in the frame for y'all. Work it in this one and then skip that one on the way back. And that's how you'll work it. And I'll work it up until we get to the end of the yarn. Because this is two skeins that I already got connected together. So I'll be back. All right, y'all. We have reached almost the end of our second skein. So I want to show you guys what to do to connect our next skein, which will be our third. So after working 16 stitches across, so after working 16 stitches across, this is what we have left. All right. So this is the end. I like to clean mine up so it doesn't be all ratty when we go to connect it. So I just cut it like that. And we got this in here. You take your lighter and just light it up so it gets a nice flame. You see the flame? Connect it. That's it. This is how you change your yarn over. Do not tie it and cut the ends off and all that. No, do not do that. Just clip it and burn it together, just like that. Let it cool down before you start working up the rest of your sweater. So, like I said, we're on our third skein now. We're trying to work it up to the desired height that we would like it. You know, for however tall you are and wherever you want it to lay. If you want it to lay on your ankles or if you want it to lay on your feet, it's totally up to you. You just have to keep, holding it up to you. Once you get down to a good height, hold it up to you to see if that's what you would like. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep working this up, and then I'll show you what to do when we get to the top. So now you know how to connect it, you know how to make your loops, you know how to make your starter chain, and then I'll show you how to make the front panels. So I'll see you in a few. Okay, y'all, so this is how I measured my last 6 inches that I needed for her height. So there's that. We're almost at 7, but we didn't close this off. So this is going to start into our panel. So we are where we need to be. Now, I'm going to move this over. I'll move this so y'all can see how I'm going to start this. Let me see. You can see? Yeah, okay. So I just like to roll it down so that I can give myself some room. Alright, as y'all can see, we need to add on some more yarn, so let me do that real quick. Let me do that real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Alright, y'all, so we're on the next phase of our chunky knit Cardigan. We are now going to be working the left side panel and the right side panel. So I'm going to show y'all how to do that without disconnecting and making a full 3 panels plus some sleeves for the Cardigan. We're just going to keep it one whole sweater. So I already added my yarn on just to make sure I was ready. So remember we did 16 stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we got 1. Let me move this over so you can see. Hold on. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, alright, so we're going to put a clip on the 9th one, which will be your other side, your other panel. So we're going to be working on the left side panel right now, or whichever way it is, because the camera's probably turned, a different direction, but you got the gist. So what we'll be doing is essentially just working it up, but we're stopping right here. This is where we'll be stopping. This is our first panel. And our second panel is on this side. So we'll work that after we're done working this. And this has to match the length of the back of your sweater, which we just worked on. So this is part of your back, and that'll then fall over your shoulder. The shoulder. So let's get to it. And we'll still be working it up, skipping this chain on the end so we can have that clean finish. But now we'll be skipping this chain on the end. So I'll show you how to do that. this is our 8th stitch. Now, you see we put that in there. We will be skipping it on the way back. Just like as if we was working our back panel, except we're doing half. We're cutting it in half and only working half of the our stitches. And this is creating the front panel, the front left panel. Instead of disconnecting and doing a whole different panel and having to connect it at the end, which is way more difficult. This works just the same, even better, because it's cleaner and you know you got the same amount of stitches on each side. So, and just make sure you try to keep your loops the same size and even. If you could, they don't have to be all perfect, you know what I mean? Because it'll still look good, so don't be on yourself to try to be perfect. Just, you know, work them up and keep them in uniform. Keep them together as best you could. And just work it down. You see this works up very, very swiftly. And then just keep rolling it as you go so that you're able to give yourself some space, because I'm working on this table and the table is not that big and I'm not standing, I'm actually sitting at my table. So alrighty, so when we're done with this panel, I'll show y'all how to start the right side panel. Alright, we're finishing up the left panel. We started it working from the left to the right, and I'm going to finish this skein out, and then we're going to start on the other one, and then we're going to see where our we're going to start on the right side, I should have said, and then we're going to see where our measurements are at, you know, our coordinates from the left panel to the top, from the top neck area, shoulder area to the bottom. So we will see in a minute, but for now I'm going to finish this out real quick. It doesn't take long to work up this panel, the left panel. Alright, so I'll leave that like that for now. So I'm going to set up, let's roll this out so I can see where we're at. Hold on. So this is our right panel. We'll put this to the side because we finished that. And this is our right side. Let me get it all cleaned up. Hold up. I like to just throw it up here so that I can see where I'm at with it. Make sure you can see the whole panel. Alright, so we shall be starting from the right to the left. So I'm going to get another skein. Let me get set up so I can show y'all that. Alright, now we're not going to connect it right away as far as like burning it to the side. I'll show you how to do that just to make it clean or whatever. But we're going to add it in from this side. Hold up, wait. Sorry about that. Not that side, this side. So it looks clean like this. I keep looking in the camera, so I'm like confusing myself. Looking at the camera, trying to show y'all how to put it in there and confusing myself and doing it backwards. But anyway, so this is how it is. And just leave yourself a little tail. Leave yourself a tail. So that way when you're ready to clean it up, you can clean it up. And then just start working your panels. your right panel from right to left on your last 8 stitches, which is the other half of your back panel that you're working off of. So that's all we're doing. We're skipping that, and we're working our panels directly off of the back panels. So that way there's no connecting at the top. There's no only connecting at the sides. And then connecting the sleeves. That's it. Which makes it easier and kills some of the steps, unnecessary steps. We skip this for that clean finish on the end. Don't forget this. And just work our way. That first loop, I should say, not this, but that first loop. I apologize for that. I am shooting a tutorial. Okay. Alright, and then we're just working it, and we're going to keep working it up until we reach the bottom, and it's the same length as the back. It has to be the same length as the back. Alright. And I'll see y'all when I get to the bottom. So as y'all can see, we have the front panels together, but we still have to work them down because they're not long enough. So we'll take another seam on each side and just work them down. But this is where we are. We're halfway down. So just keep working till you get to the end. Okay, y'all, now we finished all the way down. So now we're going to start with the sleeves. We're not going to close it up yet because we want to make sure we got the right amount of sleeve stitches that we need. So we're not going to close it yet. We're going to do the sleeves first. All right. Okay, y'all. Hopefully y'all can see it pretty good because the angle is a little difficult, so bear with me. I don't got one of those 360 cameras. I ain't rich. So anyway, this is the bottom right panel that we're going to close off. And I left the tail long enough. This is the working yarn right here. I left the working yarn long enough so that I can move this up the side. And we don't have to be wasteful when it comes to the yarn and cut it and then have to reattach it. So this should be enough to bring us up to our armhole, which will be 12 stitches. But I'll show you that once we get there. So we're just going to close this off. So these is the first 2 stitches of the right panel. So you'll just bring it inside like this. Bring up a loop. You see our loop. This is a single loop. Bring up the second loop. Put it together with the second loop like that. And then bring that up from the back like that. And we'll just work this all the way down the bottom like this. Let's bring this one. This is kind of long. We don't want that too long like that. And it's upside down for me, so it's a little bit difficult, but you can see what's going on here. You see how neat that looks? We made 3 stitches already. 1, 2, 3 for the bottom right panel. Just put that together. Bring it up from the bottom or the back, however you want to say it. Just like that. Let me turn this so you can still see. Take this. This just gives it a clean finish. Wrap this around to the back. And then bring up a loop. And then, bam. You got 2 more left. Let me show you. See? 1, 2. Bring that up from the back. Like that. Bring that up from the back. like that. All right, so that's it. And then we will connect it all the way up the side. So, but for now, we're just going to leave that open like that. Give it enough give so it don't come out. And that's how you do the bottom on each side. All right, y'all. So now we're going to do the sleeve. I do a chain of 12 for the sleeve. You could do however many you want, but 12 works best for me. So we're starting that now, and I want to show you how to start the sleeve, and you can finish it out, and then we'll meet back here. But so just do a chain of 12. 2, 3. Hold up, y'all. 4, 5. I like to do the chain a little bit tighter, because this will be a wrist area right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so let's count and make sure that we do have 12. Keep this a little loose. You'll see why later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's 12. Alright, so flip it over like this. See, I don't like this to be loose, because you got to put that in there. Let me see. Hold on here. Do that one a little bit tighter. Do this one a little bit tighter. Alright. Flip that over just like that. And then this, this is not working yarn. This is dead yarn. Now we started from the beginning. But just put this into the chain here. Not this loop, the loop before it. This is where this will go. And just pull that like that. So now you'll see what we're working with. This is our wrist area right here. So, and just keep that in there. And kind of look for where you want to go. Remember I showed you them bumps earlier? What we'll be working in? It's the same way. We flipped it over. We put this inside the second loop from the end. And now we'll be working in all the way around in this area. That. Let's see. Hold up, because it's kind of hard to see in green. Green is just hard to see. That. So all the way around until you have 12 loops that you've worked up. And then you kind of want to mark it once you get to that area. You'll see. So the first one, keep in mind, this first one is always pretty tight to get into. So just do your best trying to get it in there. And then once it pulls up, you're like, yes, I got it. So there's 2. Now that's 2. This is the first one. That's 2. So we'll put a marker on the second one, because that's where we'll be starting at. Well, actually the first. We'll see when we get around here, because it changes every time. So that's 1. And then it gets a little bit easier. 2, 3. I'm sorry, that's 2 and then 3. And then there's 4. And then just work this around. How much is sticking out for me? That's 8. that's 10. It's always a little difficult to pull in when you're doing the first set of loops. When you're doing like your first row after the chain, it's always a little bit difficult to get them in there because they're your starting, you know, chain. It's a little tight, but all right. So I started the marker with the first one I did. Well, actually, this is the first one off of the chain. Remember that. And then, so let's just count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12. So you see that just like how you did it this way, like how we did it this way, and I went around like this, and you see the working chain, the working yarn is right here. I just kind of like look at it, because this will be the bottom, this will be the wrist area coming through like this. So I like to turn it like this so that I can see what's going on, and then we're working back the other way. So we'll just start with this chain, so then I'll just transfer that over there, so we know what loop is the first one when you're going around, so you know where to stop. You don't want to just keep going and then it's just like it's slanted, you know what I mean? Like say this is your starting chain, and you think this is the starting chain because you didn't mark it. It'll be uneven and oddly, you know, looking odd as a sleeve. You want it to be the same uniform, you know what I mean? So this is our first chain. And then you just work this up the same way you would do your sweater. It's the same stitches. And just follow this all the way around. Make sure you keep your marker, your stitch marker, so you know where you're at. It's very important to use stitch markers, because this yarn, any yarn, you know what I mean? But you'll be like, what the heck? You can't tell them apart. You just can't. I don't care. I tried to do it without it. It's just like, I done messed up. Now I got to go back and see where I'm at. So stitch markers just help you to identify where you started, and it's very important. So this is the last stitch. We know this is the last stitch of the row. And we don't worry about the dead chain. The dead chain, just stick that in the middle. We will tuck that, you know, in the end, at the end. So now that's the last chain of the row. So now we're on row number 2. Or 3, actually. I must have went around quickly. Yeah, 1, 2, and this is 3, yeah. So 2 or 3, but it looks like 3 to me. Cause I must have worked that real fast and forgot which one I was on. See, that's why it's important to use the stitch marker. Because we had did the first chain, starting the first row, so we could start. That was the tough row after the chain. Then we did 1, and now we're doing the next one. So yeah, this is 3. And then just work it up until it starts to look like a sleeve. Now keep in mind that normally you'll probably stop about like here on it, you know, that it'll look kind of tall, because the shoulders of the sweater tend to drop down. So it makes it look, it like brings it into the sleeve itself, you know what I mean? So you really don't need much. You don't want it to be too long and hanging down over your arm, you know what I mean, way down here. So kind of assess it, keep putting it on, see where it's at, you know, when it comes to, you know, your sweater and all that, the placement of that, so it don't be all long on your wrists and stuff like that. And if you wear bracelets, you don't want it to catch, so just be mindful of that too. Then just keep working it out. And I'll be back. Okay, so this is what I worked up so far, y'all. This is not where I'm going to end, but this is what's worked up. And this is how you tuck it just take it and pull it around. This is how I do it anyway. Pull it around each stitch. It kind of blends a little bit effortlessly when you do it that way. And then for a little extra security, I'll take and then I'll show y'all here in a minute. So just keep working it up, like I said, and you'll do the next sleeve the same way. It's like, but for a little extra security, I'll just take and I'll you know what I mean, just add it in there like that. Kind of blends in with it, you know. Can't even tell it's there. And then there's that. That's the bottom of the sleeve. So I'll probably do like 1 or 2 more rows on this, and then that'll be it. But like I said, do the same to your next sleeve. And it's not even because I didn't make it all the way to the marker. I got a couple more stitches to go. So, but yeah, do the second sleeve the same way, and then I'll meet you back here and show you how to attach them once we go up the sides. Once we seam it up, I'll show you how to do all that too. Okay. All right, y'all, so we're reaching the end of our sweater. Yes, I'm down on the floor so I can look at my project and see where I'm at with it. Lay it out flat so that everything's set up even. You know, that's very important. If you have a large table, I mean, yeah, obviously use your large table. I do not have one, so I have to use my floor. So, now each stitch may or may not be a little bit bigger than another. So, like, you might not be able to even it together, like up together. Like, some might be smaller than the other. Like, you know what I mean? But for the most part, the stitches should be even and side by side. You know what I mean? And if they are not, and one's a little bit longer than the other, just like put one stitch in the longer one and then another one in there. 2 in the longer one and 1 in the shorter one. Just as you work your way up. If I come across that while putting this together, I will show you what I mean. But this is our working yarn. This is our live yarn here. This is what we'll be working with. I left the working yarn longer off the bottom of our closure. When we cast it off is what you call it. So I left that. But anyway, so we also have this. So be sure to close this off as you're working your way up. So here, how about this? How about we just pull it through here like that. All right, let's see. So there's that. So now it's just like kind of like a knot. All right. And it's perfectly fine to, like, you know, as you go along, wing it, put it in the stitches that you feel like it should go in. But I like going like this. I'm going to show you. Now this is the back of the other stitch. Just to tighten that off at the bottom. Pull it all the way through. I'm not going to show you all the way up, obviously, but I'm going to give you the idea of how to do it. So, and these are the neck stitches from the front and the back. That's the front, that's the panel, and this is the back right here. Right here, the back stitch. All right, so I'll be working in the front, just going up like this. Like that. And then I'll find the next stitch from the back. Okay, y'all, I apologize. I had to make room for the rest of this video, but I just want to show y'all how to go in. So you're basically going each stitch back and forth, you know, through, just like you're sewing, just like you would be sewing you know, a shirt to get, you know, like a little slit in your shirt or something like that. Because you would need something different to do any type of seamstress work. But but just follow each stitch. Like I said, if you come across something where a stitch is uneven or whatever, just go in the larger stitch twice. If you feel like it's going to be a bigger hole, you just kind of, you know what I mean, play it by ear. And I go all the way up until I reach where I want the sleeve to be. So I'm going to work mine up, and I'll be back to show y'all how we do the sleeve. Okay. All right, y'all. So we have reached the top of our cardigan, the armhole. So this is what the hole looks like. I haven't closed it off yet, but remember I told you that we have 12 stitches for our arm, so we'll count them just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we also have 12 stitches for our arm. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and that's 11, 12. So what we'll do is, before we do anything, closing this off, any of that, because I am going to use this same working yarn because I left it long enough to connect this to. I also left a lot for the piece, the arm sleeve, but for the sleeve, but I probably won't use it, so I'll just use it for something else. But I just wanted to be sure I had enough, but I have enough to connect it through our working yarn that we used for the bottom cast off and for the sides to close our cardigan. So, all right, let me see what we got going on here. So, do you remember we had our stitch markers to make sure where we're at? So this is our stitch marker. It's still attached, so I know where we're at. And also, this is our last stitch. So you can kind of see what's going on here. Bottom, or the arm, the bottom arm, and the top where we'll be closing the armhole. Attaching, I should say. So this, I like to put this at the bottom. Let's see, let me sit down. It's a little difficult to take down here, just so y'all know. But, alright, so I like to use this like for under here. So that's where that'll be. It'll connect like this. So this is inside out. Always make sure you turn your garment inside out, because that's how we'll be connecting. So turn your sleeve inside out as well. So it kind of looks different. It's a different texture, so you'll know it doesn't look like this side, how we worked it up. So let me fix this a little bit. It looks a little different. The texture is definitely different. So you'll be able to tell if it's inside out or not. And then you'll be able to see your stitch marker and where it's at. So let's turn that like that, because that goes at the bottom. And move that over a little bit. Okay. So you'll be adding, like I said, hold up, that's the hole that we're closed off. So we'll be starting at above the hole that we used to close off. So let me get back up, y'all. All right. So you see this right here? This is your loop, one of your loops that you left open on your sleeve. There's 12 of these. Put that, one of your loops, inside one of your armholes, like one of your arm loops. So this right here, one of your stitches, one of your 12 stitches. Put that in there. And just take that like that. It's kind of hard for me to name what this stuff is because I'm just so used to like Hold up here. What's that? Okay, it's all the way through there. Hold up. Wait a minute here. I messed up somewhere along the way. Let me make sure I got that in here. Okay, yeah, okay. That's the, this is from the armhole. I'll be cutting that off anyway. Alright, so that's one loop. So put this, just follow it all the way up. All the way up and around. Put that in there like that. Okay, that's number 2. This, number 3. Just put that in there like that. And just do this all the way around. I'm going to do it until we get to the other side so that you can see it fully, because it's, I mean, it takes some getting used to. I'll just say that. It's not hard to do. Absolutely not. But, and again, take your loop. We're just attaching it now. Just attaching the sleeve. And it kind of makes a little seam. You see the seam here? It kind of makes you like a little seam there that you got. This is just part of my, hold on here. Wait a minute, I think something came apart. I'll be right back. So it looks like I found the source of what happened here. So this actually came out of this, which is one of our stitches. So I had to put that back in there. And we'll just keep following along. So we're in that stitch already. So we're going in this stitch. That's the next stitch. And just throw that in there. Yeah, kind of make sure it don't come out, because you'll have little mishaps like that and you don't want that. So you gotta go back and fix it, and definitely go back and fix it. Don't just say forget it and keep moving, because it'll start looking all funny. And you don't want your project to look funny. You want it to look like it's done right. Just like a regular garment. I'm always frogging something. If I feel like something's not right, I go back and take it out. But if I don't like how something looks, like, I'll definitely go back and take it out. So this is the next stitch. I hope you guys can see it pretty clear what I'm doing here. Alright, as I'm approaching the top, I'll kind of like just go like this so I can open it all up and see where I'm at. Alright, this is my next loop right here. And I already went in this one, obviously, so I'm going in the next stitch. Just working it all the way around until I get to the end. And then, see, as you round the circle, round the corner, as we round the corner, we just keep finding our stitches. 12 and 12, 12 and 12, depending on what size hole you want. It's all up to you, but I'm using 12. There's that. I'll be back. Now I've reached the last stitch on the arm. So I'm gonna just close that off. I wanna show y'all how we do that. So remember the stitch that we had from the sleeve? So it's right here. So we'll just take and run that through wherever you find an opening. If you feel like there's still like a little gap right there, you see that? You can take that and pull it together like that, so you can get it close to your working yarn. And then you can just tie that like that, just for added security, so it don't come apart. Added security like that. And if you want to do a little double knot, it's up to you, but I'm gonna leave that like that because I want to still check. And just do a little tug, make sure it ain't too tight. See, pull it a little loose, and your sleeve's on. Let me show you. It's your sleeve. So you got a little stitch right here. You know what I mean? So it's a little stitch. That's all that is. Yep. And that's your side, and this is closed off, so you know that ain't coming out. It all comes up your seam. All right. Okay, let's see what it looks like. I'll be back. Okay, y'all, so we're on the left sleeve. I wasn't going to show y'all this because I already had showed y'all how to do the sleeve, but I wanted to show y'all what I meant when I said that sometimes you'll have a sleeve that's uneven, that's not the same size as another stitch, or a stitch that's uneven. So this is what I meant. So you see how there's 2 stitches here, 1, 2, and there's 1 stitch here. So I ran my working yarn through this stitch here and this one here. But when I counted, because it looks like I'm about, you know, at the area where I have 12 stitches, when I counted it, it was 13. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double back into this stitch, but I'm going to take away the 13th stitch, which is the small one right here. And I'm going to double back into this stitch like that, just so I have the correct amount of stitches. So that's what I meant when I said if one's longer than the other and it doesn't seem even. Although your sweater looks like it's even, everything looks like it's lined up perfectly, sometimes your stitches aren't. So you just have to make sure that you do little things like that just in case, you know what I mean? It's not going to make your sweater uneven. It's not going to cause any issues with your sweater, lopsided, any of that. It's just going to make sure that you don't make your sleeve look funny by, you know, not having 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So there we go. All right, y'all, that's it. That concludes our chunky knit cardigan. I'm still sitting on the floor because, yeah, it's not so easy getting up nowadays, okay? But anyway, yeah, so let me know in the comments if you like this tutorial, if you want me to do another tutorial, what would you want me to do next? And stay in touch, guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching.